Hello, everybody. This is E.Jada here once again, and I wanted to talk about the weird conspiracy nuts and just the weird commenters over on Full Squad Gaming and Barely Friends. Uh, but mostly it kind of stems from Full Squad Gaming. About like half a year ago, what, like 7 months, 8 months ago, I had gotten this recommendation on YouTube Shorts about Guess the Imposter. So it would be four people in a group, and their goal was to give clues on what this thing is as a person, a being, or an idea. And if they say something a bit too out of pocket or too out of line, then they're basically the imposter, right? They're out, right? So you're trying to fib if you are the imposter, like an Among Us kind of session and such. And I got into this channel and started binge watching all their stuff. I didn't watch every single video of Full Squad Gaming's, but I did watch a decent amount of the YouTube shorts, and then just kind of binge that. And something I had noticed is that I had started going back to the earlier videos because YouTube has the option for the oldest videos. I went back to the oldest videos where they were much more heavily gaming skits, right? Um, Stuff like Call of Duty and like I think they had this like one segment they kept showing where they had like this fake Oval Office where they just kept like doing stuff with it, just random skits. And at that time, I was looking at these comments and just seeing like what were people saying back in the day. This was at that time about like a year and a half ago, and there was a lot of comments that I'm gonna have to paraphrase here since I don't remember off the top of my head, but it was a lot of comments that were basically like, uh, when are you gonna bring this person back? When are you gonna do this? Right? Um, you keep promoting this garbage, and we don't want it. So I'm like, that is very interesting. And about a month or so later, one of the people that would regularly show up, one of the regulars of the imposter shorts, Classify, had left the rotation and left Full Squad in general. And I swear, for about a solid month and a half, there would always be comments about where's Classify or it's not the same with Classify. It became this sort of like joke. And from there, people would get weirdly conspiratorial. I remember once, I don't have screenshots or proof of this, so you're gonna have to take my word for it. But I remember once that there was a guy who I think claimed that Classify. There's a guy that claimed that Classify left because he was he was focusing on gambling streams and insinuating this idea that Full Squad Gaming forced Classify to quit because he was having a gambler addiction, or just something weird like that. That sort of internet conspiratorial stuff. And normally, the thing about internet conspiracies, and I'm not talking like conspiracies that actually are important, like politics or government related stuff, but YouTuber conspiracies. They're somehow weirdly convoluted. They're like worse than main conspiracies because they usually stem from confusion. They usually stem from lack of knowledge or just denouncement of the knowledge presented. So there were some people alleging that Full Squad Gaming had classified left because Full Squad Gaming was not satisfied with his behavior, like being very like vague about it. And then there were people going after like the other people of the group, like, did you do something about this? It's strange. Keep in mind, most of my watching on you with shorts is on YouTube Shorts. I don't watch TikTok. I don't watch Instagram. I don't watch Snapchat. So it's bizarre to see this type of thing cross over and feed into here or into YouTube Shorts because there's always been this sort of stereotype about the comment sections of stuff like YouTube Shorts, Instagram, and such. Because it's always been that the stereotype usually is YouTube Shorts has a lot of brain rot. You get a lot of the same repetitive type of comments. Instagram, everyone's trying to be racist or edgy. And TikTok is surprisingly the most balanced. Allegedly, I've heard is that it is very creative a lot of the time. You can get absolutely roasted, or you can have like a pretty like wholesome like short and everyone be nice. It's surprisingly balanced if that in that kind of way. And I'm not sure if these stereotypes are true, but that's what I've been hearing. So to hear these sort of like conspiracy nuts be like, there is something going behind the scenes that's causing this to happen is interesting, especially because it lasted like a month and a half. Like, it didn't just last a week because people were confused. There were a lot of people who lurked this account apparently and did not know anything about the newest member or anything. There would always be a guy going, "Where's Classify? Where's Classy?" And it's just very interesting. I've never actually been around a community of like people on YouTube or any like platform like that that has ever made those sort of comments. I've heard stuff. The closest memory I have is I've heard something similar with Smosh with Anthony Padilla, where his when he left Smosh, there was always these comments about like, "Where's Anthony?" and it became this in joke within Smosh Pit and like the Smosh crew and such. But I never watched Smosh until like way later, and I don't even really watch Smosh now. I just had like a ghost interest in them that kind of like came in, came out when Smosh when Anthony Padilla returned to Smosh. So it was very interesting to see this sort of paradigm happen on the on Full Squad, because I never actually watched Full Squad gaming. Technically, I was watching these Full Squad shorts, which they're barely gaming. And then they had a couple of people they added into the rotation. There were a couple of these females that they added, and I remember a very intriguing amount of people were like, "We don't want no bitch to be in this shirt." A lot of it was like, "We don't want like these women have no personality or whatever." I just find that intriguing because again, that's not something I'd normally see on YouTube Shorts. That's what's crazy to me. That's something I would see on like Twitter or kind of recently on YouTube. I had made a video the other day about Vanos's quote unquote new member, Pasta Roli, and there was a lot of people that are like, "She's boring," but I never saw a lot of like comments that were like, "She's a bitch, she's stupid." Probably because like the humor of Vanos has always been more like edgy, but some like the best way I can word it is it's edgy, but it's not tasteless. Um, like there's not when it comes to like for example Marcel, there's not people throwing like the N word all the time at him, right? Uh, with Scotty, there's not a lot of people like making Jewish Cabell references. Um, like they could be and push like edgy kind of offensive stuff, but it's like a very tastely what the fuck? It was a very tasty edginess, as opposed to Full Squad Gaming being kind of moderate. Like in general, they have a little bit of an edge. Nick especially has kind of been this jokish. He's white and he's racist and he says like a little bit of edgy stuff, but they're obviously less offensive than Vanos. Yet somehow the audience was more akin to say that we don't want these women on these shirts. I just found it very, very fascinating. I remember something similar happening with Frost. A lot of people thought that Frost at that time thought that he was annoying, but I never saw a lot of people saying he should like leave. There's just people saying there's not a great addition. But like these like female members of Full Squad are like, "Get these people out of here! They're annoying." Like there's a much more vitriolic negativity in these comments. I should probably make this very clear. When you're early to watching something, It's different to when you look back on it later. I'm sure that by now there's a lot of acceptance of these kind of community, like these people, but that's still kind of weird. All right. Now I've rambled for about 10 minutes. I'm gonna get to the actual point of this video now. About a week ago, I'm recording this on March 7th. I'm gonna upload this at a later date, but about a week ago, start of March, kind of like the end of February, Classy returned, but right around this time did they announce that Avalanche. Well, actually, it wasn't. I'm out in Full Squad Gaming now, but I don't even think it was really announced. Yeah, no, it wasn't. It wasn't really even announced. They announced when Classy left, but they did not announce when Avalanche, Nick, and oh no, I forgot the name. The white, the black, and the Asian guy. That's how I'm going to refer to it. The trio. These three, the trio, they left. And I first found out about this because the comments were saying that he left. Classified returned, but these other people left. Now it's not even a full. Now it's not a half it's half squad or it's no squad gaming. And then a bunch of comments started to appear. It is one of the most intriguing conspiracies I think I've ever heard. Classy returned coincidentally at the same time the trio left of Avalanche and Nick and the other guy that I don't remember the name of for some reason. And that means that there must be some bad blood going on between them, right? And to be frank, I feel like the trio has done a poor job at actually addressing the what happened, because it took them several days. They were hyping it up on their shorts. They would hype up, there's going to be an announcement tomorrow. Everything will be explained. It's like, why? What? Why do you need to announce that? Why are you going to announce that tomorrow, right? I assume it probably had something to do with schedule conflicts, but I'll admit I thought that was weird. They could just say, for the record, this is what happened between us and them. We'll make a video about this at a later time. They're like, announcement now! Get ready! Get ready to see us talk about the Full Squad gaming drama. This situation will be insane. It wasn't sensationalized, but it was a very weird sort of timing. Their video comes out, they're short, where they explain, alright, listen, we did not know Classy was going to rejoin. We just left a month ago, and we filmed our last little bit, and it was just interesting timing. And then there are a couple of comments, even after that, they're alleging, this is the main idea, is there's some bad blood between the trio and Classy. And they're trying to hide themselves. They're trying to keep themselves contained because they must be under an NDA from Full Squad Gaming because it was their employer. Full Squad Gaming is more or less a brand account, while the trio's new channel, Barely Friends, is somewhat a brand account. It was rebranded from a older account that they had, but in essence it's their own account, right? It's their own little page. I just find it fascinating, very, very fascinating, because I don't think I've ever actually seen a conspiracy divulge in a community as simple as Full Squad Gaming. Because most of their videos on their shorts were usually the same, besides the occasional sponsored video where they do something a little bit more crazy, like skydiving, or something where regarding the lines of getting dumped into a pool, right? Or hanging out with sharks. Those are sponsored videos, right? Most of the videos were the same format. You'd sit on a couch with a couple of rotating people and maybe a guest, and it would either be guess who the imposter is, guess what your food is. You'd have a food with little headbands. You'd have a image of food, and you'd have to guess what that food is. The hot and cold challenge, where you have to try and guess how close you are to this thing. If you say this, everyone has a go around, and there's one person that has an item in their head. You have to guess how close they are, and they'll give you a number based off how close you are until you guess the item. Then you have say the same word, and you cannot repeat a word you used before. You have to say the same word off the top of your head. Those are like the four like horsemen of this channel, right? When it came to Full Squad Gaming as this shorts creator. And the same thing is going on with Barely Friends at the moment. But it's very intriguing. It's a very small footnote in history, obviously, you know. But I care about it a lot. I care about like making a video about this because it fascinates me. I don't think I've ever actually seen conspiracy nut like this sort of conspiracy nut idea just kind of spread and grow out of mainly confusion and like it's just weird. It's just so bizarre to me. I'm a guy that's been on the internet for 15 years at this point. I've grown up with the internet. I am very familiar with internet culture, right? I know how the internet works. I get that there's this sort of rule, I'd say. It's not a very consistent rule, but very frankly, the more wholesome or the more pure a channel or a thing is, the more likely you'll get people wanting to corrupt it. Likewise, if you act or portray yourself as being morally corrupt, you know, edgy jokes, offensive jokes, such, you'll gain a more safer, connected audience. It's not really that, like, this sort of theory isn't that confident. Like, it's not something that is like a rule of the internet type of case. But I mention it because it does seem to have, this sort of like regimen does seem to persist throughout a lot of creators on YouTube, and even like a lot of places, you know, Instagram or Twitter has a similar thing going on with this idea that the more pure something is, the more people want to joke about how unpure it is. Like, it's a very interesting culture of things. But with Full Squad, it's like everything that they tried to do, they announced that a member was leaving, people won't shut up. They don't announce members are leaving, people won't shut up. And then the people that left Full Squad announce in like a pre-planned event that this is what happened, and people won't shut the fuck up. By this point, it's just becoming, you know, quiet because it's like, okay, the people that care about the trio are going to watch this account. The people that care about Classify and Frost and a couple others will watch Full Squad Gaming, right? But then there are obviously people that are like, yo, wouldn't it be great if everybody went to the same, like, was in the same video, in the same room? It's just a very interesting, bizarre event. Because I don't think I've ever seen something as simple and as basic as let's all sit in a group and make very quick videos and then, you know, let's just shit them out. I don't think I've ever seen something like that diverge into conspiratorial madness, if that makes sense. Like, it wasn't rampant. It was very consistent. A lot of people had the same type of thought. It wasn't like this group thinks Classy left for this reason and this group thinks Classy left for this reason. It was a very connected, universal form of speculation. But then you would have like the occasional not being like, no, this happened. No. This is what must be going on. And then you'd have people being like, shut the fuck up. But it's still just intriguing that there was even a narrative to begin with that this is what had happened. Because it was widespread and rampant. Like, the top comments will always be, at the time, where's Classy? Now it's, half squad gaming. Where's the other people at? I'm never gonna watch this account again. I'm watching Barely Friends. Like it's intriguing. It is very very intriguing, and I just wanted to make a video documenting this sort of thing via word of mouth. I'm not gonna start posting like screenshots and shit because I mean I could, but I'm not that dedicated. I have other things to do with my time. I just want to take a bit off my day and just talk about this because it's really fucking funny to me. So, yeah, that's the weird conspiratorial nuts over in the Full Squad and Barely Friends comments explained to you. And I hope you have a good day. Any questions you have, any comments, just come to me and I'll respond as soon as I can. And EJ is heading out.